Hello friends, welcome back to the kitchen at the Wardenberg Family Farm. Today's a little unusual because Dawn is in front of the camera and Brenda is operating the camera. It's a special day because it's about beef. Beef jerky, actually. We're going to test 3 different ways to prepare beef jerky, so come along. All right, before we get started here, we're just making sure that our knives are honed and ready to go. I think they're good. They feel great. Okay, we have 2 roasts here. They're from our Angus. I have a high degree of confidence that they're going to be terrific. They're both bottom round, which very lean, which is really what you want. You don't want the fat in your jerky because it'll be the first to go or to get rancid. So good lean beef we're going to use. Now I'm just going to trim it up a little, any of the outside, and then if there's the fat cap, I'm going to work to remove that. All right, I removed the fat cap, and you can see it's a high quality meat and very little fat. So then the next, I think one of the biggest strategic decisions is we're going to cut this the whole way through because that's going to be about the thickness of each of our strips.
That is a sharp knife.
Yep, look at that. It cuts nice.
Beautiful.
Now, isn't that beautiful beef? Look how lean that is. Pasture-raised Angus beef. So that's terrific. Now, the other thing to look at in the next strategic decision is how we cut these slices. Are we going to cut across the grain or cut with the grain? Would be this way. If you like them to be stringier and chewier, you'll go with the grain. It kind of goes, the grain goes here. So if I cut it across the grain, it's going to be more tender and easier to eat. So I think I'm going to cut it across the grain. And again, trying to get the slices very thin. Let's see how it goes here. Oh, beautiful. Look at that.
That's perfect.
Yep.
Good job.
That's a beautiful, beautiful slice. So I'm going to just keep cutting these, and that's about the right size too. You know, 6 or 7 inches, and that's about 1/8 of an inch. So let's see if I can keep going on that same trajectory. Yeah, so we have some farm projects coming up at the end of the week, and we're going to have sons and son-in-law and some other guys working. So this is going to be the perfect treat to give to our farm hands, which family members, while we're outside working. Now, we came off, the last 2 weeks have been cold and rainy, and now this next week coming up is going to be very nice.
It's going to be actual spring.
Yeah.
It's technically been spring for about 2 weeks, but it has not been spring.
The only interruption we're going to have is that the lights, the power is going to go out for a little bit tomorrow with the eclipse.
Yeah, we're filming this on the 7th, and the eclipse is tomorrow.
So today all we have to do really is prepare our cuts, and then we're going to put them in our marinate to go overnight. So people have differing opinions on how long you have to have it in a marinade, and really it's kind of a diminishing return. You have to put it in for at least 3 hours, but a lot of people put it in overnight or 24. If you go much longer than that, they say that it starts to affect the meat and makes it a little mushy, so we don't want to do that. We finished cutting up our first roast. Now they're both about 4 pounds each. Now keep in mind, after you cook and dehydrate, you're going to lose about 75% of the weight. So 8 pounds is going to yield 2 pounds of finished jerky. So here's our second roast, and I'm going to do the same procedure. Take the fat cap off and trim it. And I think I will cut this one down the middle again because this is the perfect size and perfect for jerky. I can't wait to try it. I'm just going to finish cutting these up. I like these because they're actually a little smaller, and I think it's still a great size. So I just need 5 minutes to finish cutting this up, and then I think we need to take our puppy for a break. Maybe we'll show you how she's growing.
Maybe we'll show you some of her tricks.
Yeah.
Get it. Ooh, big girl. Ooh, you're big. So big and strong. Ooh, so big. Yes, I'm gonna get you. Ooh. Stay. You're a good girl. You are my good girl, aren't you? Good stay. Okay. You're a good girl. Mm-hmm. You're a good girl.
So it's interesting when you talk to folks who do any marinating or do beef jerky or any kind of jerky, they'll tell you, I have actually the very best marinade out there, and it makes the best jerky. Well, come on, guys. You know, everybody has, there are thousands of them out there, and the reality is that we all have different tastes. So I'm not going to say that this is the absolute best one, but they're all pretty similar in that they have a base of a salt, which here we're using the soy sauce, and a sweet, which here we are using the brown sugar. And those are the two main ingredients. So there's 3 areas though. You have a sweet, and you have a salt, and you also have your spices. And a lot of the marinades out there have similar spices in there. The smoked paprika is very common. Of course, black pepper, red pepper flakes. This has quite a bit of red pepper in it. Onion powder and garlic powder. So we have these all pre-mixed. So I'm going to go ahead and mix them in the bowl here. And then I'm going to put the meat in the big bowl, and we will begin the process. So here we go. 2 cups. Now keep in mind, this is for 8 pounds of beef. So if you're doing, I think most folks would only do a couple pounds. You won't need this amount, but there's 2 cups of brown sugar. I think that's light brown sugar. All the spices mentioned before going in here. And then we have 6 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce.
And we'll have the recipe in the description below the video for you.
Oh, we're going to mix this together. You know, I'm actually starting to feel tired, Brenda. We had a busy day, didn't we?
We had a very busy day.
I planted 12, we expanded the orchard. I planted 12 fruit trees, and then she and I worked together on the bees, didn't we?
Yep, we got the bees all ready for the summer.
Yep. We put the honey supers on, and the bees are in great shape. So we're looking forward to a terrific year with the honey and the bees.
You probably could use honey in some of these marinades.
What, honey?
You probably could use honey in marinade.
Yeah.
We might have to try one with honey someday.
Sure. Okay, I think we're good here. I'm gonna let all this big, beautiful beef slide off into here. There we go. And we're gonna go ahead and pour this over and then let it set in for probably 18 hours and let it, ooh, look at that. I'm gonna have to stir it up just to make sure that it's getting between all of the beef in here.
You went on every one.
Yep, soaking it up. And I'm not 100% sure which is the most important, whether the selection of the marinade or the process of how you cook it. So that's what we're going to find out today, a little bit more about it, although we're going to use the same marinade for all 3, but we're going to get some insight on the drying process and how that goes.
Which one tastes the best?
Yeah, I think we have a go here, Brenda. So we
Okay.
should probably just put some cellophane or something on the top
Yep.
here.
Put it in the fridge overnight.
And there we go.
Yum.
All right, now the fun starts. We get to final preparation on our 3 cooking methods, and right now I have the big green egg cooking outside. And another exciting development is that we're doing this in a big green egg when the eclipse is just starting. So I'm actually going to be all ready to go with the eclipse.
Fashion statement.
So these are going to be special
Beef jerky.
beef jerky.
Eclipse beef jerky.
Yeah. All the magic that the eclipse brings.
So what are you doing right now?
Okay, so they've been in about 18 hours. They look beautiful. Gone is the red, light red, and now they're a beautiful brown, soaked in all this wonderful marinades. And now I just have to dry them off a little bit before they go in. And as I normally do, I'm kind of doing it random, which is the way I do things, right, Brenda? You'd have them
Yes.
all in perfect line and
I like
strip.
things in order. He just kind of wings it and does them
Yeah,
random.
it just goes. So I think I need to, what I might do is just transfer them to this one once they get them dabbed off. And I'll use this one for the rough,
Good idea.
you know. And, you know, since it's got some heat out there too, I think that these will dry off the moisture, drive them off faster than the dehydrator. But we'll see. Time will tell. But I'll have you outside in a couple of minutes because we have to get these going right in the midst of the eclipse. So we'll be right back. Okay, this is the real fun part. We get to load up the grills. And I made this handy dandy stacker. So inside the big green egg you have the main grill bottom. This will sit on that grill, so it gives me 3 levels to make smoked jerky. So pretty exciting. I don't know if you can tell or not by the low light right now, but we're at about maximum for the eclipse, and I think we're in about an 80% area. So it's a weird light, but it's not all that impressive.
We're in South Central Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Okay. I probably could have put more on here actually, but I'm going to go ahead and load these up.
Okay.
And the big green egg here. Okay, now we're going to put the skewers on here, and I got to put it on such a way it doesn't fall through the slats. So there we go, perfect. I converted my big green egg to an
jerky
amazing
maker.
smoker.
I'll be ready.
Let's make sure the cover goes down
And what temperature is it at?
and put the lid. It's a little warm right now, but I'm going to bring it back down. It's about 200.
Okay.
I'm going to let it try to go down to 180 if I can,
Okay.
but that's a challenge.
We'll see.
Okay, now we are loading the dehydrator trays. And I'm being coached by Brenda not to put them too close because we've got quite a bit of room in there. So you think that's good?
I think that looks great.
Okay, well let's load them all up and
Okay, get them in the dehydrator.
put them in. Okay, so we've got them cooking on the big green egg. We've got them down in the dehydrator, and now we're going to do the oven. And in the oven, I'm going to split 50-50. Part of it just goes right in the oven at, was it 170? And other half of it, I'm going to actually fry it first to caramelize the marinade, and then we're going to finish it to dry it in the oven and then see if there's any variation there. So boom, there goes the heat, and this will only take 5-6 minutes or so, and then it's going in the oven. Okay, these two in the back are the ones that came out of the oven. This one here, you remember we put a small sample of it in the frying pan beforehand, and it had a little bit of the marinade still on it. We didn't dry it as much. And if you look at it, it's a little glossy or shiny because of some of the sugars were caramelized, so it's got extra flavor on it. It's a little bit sticky, so I might be worried about how this one would preserve with the stickiness on it. The other one from the oven came out very nice. You know, they're bending properly. I think they're done and they're dry. I think this will be very stable and very good. Interestingly enough, this is the one that came from the dehydrator. And again, it passed the test where it will bend, but I had a little sample of it. And of all of the 4 methods, the one from the dehydrator is the toughest, but it's not bad because a lot of guys, you know, you rip it off, you like to chew it, you get that flavor for a long time, so it's very good, but it's probably the firm. Now the one here, it still has a little bit of the red color in it, in the meat. This is the one that came from the big green egg, and I'm a little worried now that it's out, that it might not have stayed in long enough. This was in about 3 hours, and the other ones were pretty much 4.5 hours. So I'm not, this is very good, and it tastes and it's tender. I'm just a little concerned that it might not be preserved as well. So I think we'll have to protect that and either put it in the dehydrator or just keep it in the refrigerator. But it's very good. So tomorrow when we're fresh, we have the other guys here, we're going to pick it up with the taste test. All right, we have our exciting results in from our bearded testing crew, and bearded men know their beef jerky. So here we go. We gave them each a sample. The number 1 was done in the oven. Again, very nice, beautiful. And the result, one of them gave it a number 1 rating, and the other 2 thought it was good. It was actually the best balance of taste and texture. So a good result with that. Now, as you remember, the second one was an alternative where we varied it slightly. Now, both of them we had in the oven at 180 degrees for about 3.5 hours. The only difference is at sample number 2, I put it in a frying pan and put a little more of the marinade with it and caramelized it. So now it's a little bit sticky, but it's got great flavor. And one of our testers thought this was absolutely the best. It had the really sweet flavor, and texture was very good. So I don't know, Brenda, did you?
I like that one. The flavor was really good.
Yeah. The only concern I'd have with that one is because of the amount of the sugar and caramelized, if it would hold up, whether it would we'd have any bacteria in it. But you know what? Around here, none of this jerky is going to last more than a few days, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, shifting to the back row here, these were done differently. Number 3 was done in the dehydrator. And the way to test these, you bend these to make sure they can still bend but not snap. But they're leathery and dry feeling on the outside, then they're done. The best part of this one was that it won our safety award because it was the driest, and we think that it would keep the longest. However, none of our testers rated the dehydrator one as their number 1 and their favorite. So it was in the dehydrator at the maximum temperature, which I believe is 165, for about 4 hours. And then our last one, and this is the one that was done in the big green egg. And one of our testers rated this as number 1, and several of the others rated this as their number 2. So overall, this one came through with the highest rating. And I think it's because it had a beautiful smoke flavor, more of an aftertaste with it. And that just, you know, the guys loved that. Did you enjoy this one, Brenda?
I did, but it was almost too smoky. I don't know. I like smoky pork butt and smoky other stuff, but I'm not sure about beef jerky.
Yeah, overall this was my favorite too, so highly rated. The good news is though, the takeaway for me on all of this is it affirms my feeling that you have to start with the best quality cut of meat and then a terrific marinade. And beyond that, the good news is you don't have to have a dehydrator or you don't have to have a big green egg to make terrific beef jerky. In fact, I think if you just have a grill at home, I might want to experiment putting it on the grill for a half hour and then put it in the oven to finish. Oven finish gets a fantastic result. I think what we did with ours is every half hour, we opened it for a little bit, let it ventilate some of that moisture out, and we got terrific results. So, Brenda, anything or any takeaways from you?
Well, the bottom line is our son's quote. Yeah, they had favorites and not as favorites, but he said, they're all good. I'd eat them all day long.
So bottom line, they were all terrific. So, hey, this is great, a good result, and I'm not worried that these are going to be able to stick around for 6 or 8 weeks because they're going to be gone within the week.
They could be gone within 2 or 3 days.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us for our great beef jerky experiment. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.